Ever had a total stranger scream at you before your first sip of coffee? Yeah, try that for a Monday morning. I barely had time to blink before this woman, all fire and fury, came marching up my porch. And let me tell you, she wielded her clipboard like it was a loaded weapon. Security, she barks into her little smartwatch as if she's starring in some sort of suburban cop show. There's a trespasser. Get someone here now. If you could have seen her face, you'd know she meant business. So picture this me, just standing on the edge of my cabin's porch, mountain air, thick with pine and rain. And her storming up the gravel path, chin high, acting like the whole world's about to collapse unless I pack up and disappear. She tells me straight faced, "You need to leave. This is private land. No visitors allowed." The thing is, there's a whole crowd forming now, neighbors peeking from behind curtains, whispering just loud enough to stir the wind. If I hadn't been so annoyed, I probably would have laughed. She was just so sure she was in charge. But I kept quiet. You ever have that moment where you know you're holding the ace, but decide to let the other guy play their hand first? That was me. Inside my old satchel, tucked safe, were papers that would blow her story to pieces. But no need to rush, right? Let her dig the hole herself. And man, she went at it with a shovel. In minutes, two ranger trucks roll up their amber lights, spinning, bouncing off the wet trees. She waves them over, nearly frantic, shouting, "That's him! Get him off the property!" The officers look between us, sizing up the scene. One older, with a face that said he'd rather be anywhere else, asks her, "Ma'am, do you have any verification?" She just shoves her clipboard at him, covered in more rules than the IRS, and probably about as friendly. The association owns this entire ridge, she declares like she's reading from a script. He's violating every clause. You ever watch someone throw every card on the table and still lose? That was her right there. Finally, one of the rangers turns to me, hand resting near his belt, calm, but not quite sure what he's walked into. "Sir, can you explain your connection to this cabin?" Before I can open my mouth, she cuts in. "He has none. Arrest him." I stay cool. I reach in, pull out the thick file, the one she doesn't know exists. "You might want to see what's in here," I say, handing it over, her smirk. It slips the second that ranger starts flipping pages, and I swear you could hear the air shift. The ranger's brows go up, then his whole face changes. She tries to grab the papers, desperate now, but he pulls them away. "Ma'am," he says, measured and careful. "It appears this property and a good portion of the surrounding land belongs to him." You'd think she'd been slapped. "That's impossible," she stammers. But I just meet her eyes, steady, calm as the lake behind us. "You've been shouting at the wrong person." Now here's the part I wish I could bottle up for you the moment her confidence drains out. She stumbles back, voice wobbly. "It's fake. He forged that." The ranger doesn't even bother to look at her. He's already radioing it in. She starts pacing, gripping that clipboard like it's going to save her, but she knows. Deep down, she knows. The younger officer leans in barely above a whisper. "Sir, this file lists you as the sole owner, not just of this lodge, but the surrounding forest." Miles of it. I catch her name. Let's call her Marlene. As her jaw drops, she's got nothing left but volume. "That's absurd. The community board manages this whole ridge. I can't help it." I smile just a little. Strange, I tell her, because according to the registry, I am the ridge. The senior ranger frowns, double-checking the signatures. "These are county verified. This deed's authentic." He turns to her. "Ma'am, if that's true, you've been encroaching on his property. And so have the residents you've been policing. You could have heard a pine needle drop. Even the neighbors by the dirt road go quiet." Marlene's voice comes out in a whisper, all the fight drained out. "No, that's not possible." I step in close, just so she can hear. "You called the authorities on the man who owns the horizon you're standing on." Her knees wobble, but she forces herself upright. "I don't care what paperwork you wave around. This land answers to our council. We set the codes, but her voice cracks defiance and fear all tangled together. The ranger just shakes his head, patience thinning. Council bylaws don't overrule county titles, ma'am. You're on his ground. The crowd stirs, a ripple of realization spreading. You can see it hit people, all those fines, threats, and posted rules. Might have been for nothing. Marlene's face twists up, desperation creeping through every word. You don't understand. I've been running this place for years. If this gets out, I'm finished. Now this is where it gets real. I unlock my phone, pull up the digital deed bright and clear, and hold it up so everyone, especially the Rangers, can see. Actually, I say, you're not just losing power, Marlene. You might be gaining a court date. The radio on the younger Ranger's belt crackles. A voice comes through clear as a bell, verified. Ownership extends across all listed parcels. Covers the entire ridge. Local authority revoked. You ever see someone realize the whole game just ended? That was Marlene. She stumbles back. Eyes wild. No, that can't be right. But it is, and she knows it. That's when the real screaming starts. This isn't justice. He's lying. He can't own it all. She lunges at me, grabs for the documents, but the senior ranger is faster. He catches her by the arm. That's enough, ma'am, he says, steady as stone. By now, folks have spilled out of their cabins, phones out recording every second. Then from the back, someone calls out, if he's the owner, where'd all the money we paid her go? You can feel the mood change. Disbelief turning to something uglier. Marlene spins around, frantic, trying to win the crowd back. Don't believe him. I kept this place safe. Without me, it would have fallen apart. Classic when the scam falls apart. It's suddenly all about how hard they worked for you. That's when I pull out the last piece, the old topographic map, yellowed at the edges, county seal, still clear as day. I let my voice carry. My grandfather bought these forests before any of you built here. She's been running her pretend council on family land for years. The younger ranger glances from me to her to the map and back. If that's accurate, he says careful, then you've been collecting fees under false authority. That's criminal misrepresentation. You could cut the tension with a butter knife. Marlene freezes. Hands up, trembling. Nothing left to say. I lean in. You wanted to erase me, Marlene, but you're the one about to vanish. Her color drains. The rangers share a look, grim, resigned. The older one finally breaks the silence. Ma'am, we'll need you to come with us for questioning. She loses it, starts shouting, jabbing her finger at me again. You can't arrest me. I run this place. He's just a drifter, but her voice gets drowned out by the crowd who finally found theirs. You took $6,000 for that fake fence permit. One yells. Another joins in. You threatened to evict my family if we didn't pay your dues, and suddenly it's chaos. Everyone's yelling, all those years of resentment spilling out at once. Marlene tries to spin, tries to find an ally, but she's alone. Her power gone in a blink. The younger ranger steps forward. That's enough, he says firm. Hands behind your back, ma'am. You could see the moment the cuffs went on, her whole world shrank to nothing. She turns venom in her eyes and hisses, You'll pay for this. I step off the porch, look her right in the eye. No, Marlene. The only thing I'll pay for is peace. Something you stole. The applause that erupts, well, let's just say it wasn't for her. Cameras flash, people cheer. The self-appointed queen of the ridge hauled away for everyone to see. But here's the thing, and maybe you felt this too. Underneath that victory, there's something else. A weight. Because as Marlene's dragged off, I start to wonder how long did this go on? Who else knew? She doesn't go quietly either. Kicks at the gravel, yelling, You don't get it. I wasn't the only one. And just like that, celebration turns to suspicion. People turn whispering, worried. Not the only one, I ask. She's already in the truck, but she shoots me a look, one of those twisted little smiles you never forget. You think I built this scheme alone? You'll see how deep it goes. The door slams. The truck rumbles down the road, leaving nothing but dust and questions behind. Now it's just me and the neighbors. Some look ashamed, some are furious. One guy mutters, "If she had partners, maybe the whole committee's dirty." Another says, "We've been paying dues for years." Where did it all go? I turn back to my cabin. Sun dipping low, painting the pines gold. Don't worry, I tell them I'm not just a landowner. I'm the guy who's going to dig up every name behind this mess. The younger ranger stays behind, drops his voice. "Sir, if she's right, this could go deeper. There might be officials involved." I glance back at the crowd, once afraid, now simmering with something else. Hope. I tighten my grip on that deed. Then we dig, I say, until we find every last one of them. No one cheats a man on his own soil. And for a second, everything goes still. The wind in the pines, the hush over the ridge, like the whole mountain is waiting for what comes next. So, what would you do if you found out the person barking orders wasn't just faking it, but was only the tip of something rotten? Where's the line between standing up for yourself and burning down the system that betrayed you? Ever caught someone like that? Someone who thought they were untouchable? Finally get what they deserved. I'd love to hear what you think. Or if you've ever faced off with someone like Marlene. Because out here, sometimes the only justice you get is the justice you make for yourself.